Here we go. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. An awesome show on tap as we break down the 49ers initial 53-man roster and we go over the full list of cuts. Keep in mind, this is the initial 53-man roster. There are going to be a flurry of roster moves made by all 32 teams across the National Football League. So this Niners roster is going to change a lot over the next few days and going into week one against the New York Jets on Monday Night Football. But it is exciting because this Niners team is starting to take shape so we can look ahead to that week one game against the Jets. And if you want the Niners to take down Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in week one, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Breaking news! Brock Purdy made the Niners 53-man roster. Had to get the dad joke out of the way. Your quarterback room, Brock Purdy, Joshua Dobbs, Brandon Allen. Some speculation that maybe Joshua Dobbs could get dealt, but given all of the attrition and injuries that have happened to the Niners quarterback room over the last several years, I think it's really important to keep three. And I was very impressed by the backup quarterback play from Dobbs, more mobile, better athlete, and Brandon Allen, who is more of that pocket passer, understands the system, gets the ball out on time accurately and decisively, which is, of course, what Kyle Shanahan really likes. Running backs. Let me just say this. A lot of surprises on this initial 53-man roster for San Francisco. Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, Patrick Taylor, Isaac Guerendo, and of course Kyle Juszczyk as the fullback. Patrick Taylor missed a lot of training camp with injury. He is the tallest running back that Kyle Shanahan has ever had as the head coach of the Niners, but really gives this team quality special teams play and is a physical running back. It is Jordan Mason time, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to Elijah Mitchell a little bit later, but he is out for the season-ending IR. So we've been asking about Jordan Mason and clamoring for him to get more carries. I think he's going to be a go-to weapon for this Niners offense in 2024. It's really important for San Francisco to manage the workload for Christian McCaffrey, especially coming off of another calf injury. And I just like the boom and the thunder, the physicality that Mason brings to the running back position. It seems as though anytime he gets his hands on the rock and gets a carry, he's picking up 5 or 6 yards. A really good scheme fit for Kyle Shanahan, one of the most improved players on this Niners team throughout this summer. Isaac Guerendo, I would imagine, would be this team's week one kick returner. We saw the 93-yarder against the Raiders in the preseason finale. So no Elijah Mitchell here. A lot of people going to be surprised about that. The season-ending injury came out of nowhere. We know he's been dealing with a hamstring, but it wasn't classified what that specific injury is, which will cause him to miss all of 2024. Wide receivers, Brandon Aiyuk, Deebo Samuel, Jauan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Ronnie Bell, Chris Conley, and Jacob Cowing. A lot of people will be confused that Aiyuk is on the initial 53-man roster. He reported he has been a hold-in, not a holdout. So he's a member of this football team. So he does make the initial 53, and we'll see what happens. Does he get a contract extension? Does he get dealt? Will he play on the fifth-year option? That's the biggest mystery for this team alongside the Trent Williams dilemma. Ronnie Bell did have some drops throughout the preseason, but did started to perform well over the last couple of weeks in training camp. And then over the last few days, had some good showings during practices. So has some special teams ability as a return man, can pick up yards after the catch. I think he has a lot of promise. Chris Conley, a special teams maven, had a really good camp at wideout, and Jacob Cowing tore it up the last 2 preseason games. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have historically gone with 4 tight ends on their initial 53. Not this year, at least as of right now. So George Kittle and Jake Tonges are the tight ends who make the Niners' initial 53. Today, San Francisco letting go of 5 tight ends. Now, as they get their practice squad set, and other teams across the NFL get their practice squad set, I would imagine the Niners make another move here. Eric Saubert is the tight end that I think would have the inside track of making the team. Of note, Cam Latu, third-round pick from last year, axed. Offensive linemen, Jon Feliciano, Nick Zackelj, Jake Brendel, Aaron Banks, Colton McKivitz, Spencer Burford, Jaylon Moore, and Dominick Puni. Trent Williams is not on the initial 53-man roster because he was placed on the did not report list. So he is not a member of the Niners active roster. So I put out the Niners roster on my X page and on Instagram, and people are saying Trent Williams isn't on it. And they're asking what's going on. That is why I expect other moves to happen along the offensive line as well, because I think that Jon Feliciano will be placed on PUP or on short-term IR because of that knee surgery. That is the likely route because Kyle Shanahan even said he wasn't going to be healthy or come back until the midway point of the year. So that will then lead to a reshuffling for the offensive line. I'll tell you what, you look at this screen here and you look at the names on it, Niners better get that Trent Williams deal done ASAP. Who is the most surprising Niners roster cut? For me, it's a player on defense, and that's Jalen Graham, who was let go. Drop me some names down below in the comment section right now. Our sponsor for today's Niners roster video is Game Time. I'm going to Las Vegas this weekend to catch USC, LSU, the first full weekend of the college football slate. That's a top 25 matchup. I just got my tickets yesterday, and I got them because Game Time specializes in last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. So if you're looking to go to a sporting event, concert, comedy show, theater event, and you want to save some money, and sometimes you're living a busy life like me, working, grinding, hustling, you can't make decisions until the last minute, that's the beauty of the Game Time app. Last-minute tickets and flash deals, views from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive, and they have the lowest price guaranteed among all ticketing apps in the industry. You want to go to Niners-Jets Week 1 at Levi Stadium, Monday Night Football, tickets available for that, and I love the view from your seat that you can have, but also the aerial view and panoramic view as well. So download the app for free, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That is for first purchase only. We'll put all that information down below in the comment section and in the description of today's Niners report. Let's shift over to the defensive side of the football. Robert Beal Jr., Leonard Floyd, Kevin Givens. How about the surprise here? Sam Okuayinonu making the Niners team. That one came out of nowhere. Jordan Elliott, Yetur Gross-Matos, Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, and Maliek Collins. 9 total defensive linemen making this Niners team. Linebacker position. I had said in my roster projection video, I think the Niners might hold on to 6. I got 5 of 6 right because San Francisco did let go of Jalen Graham, the late-round draft pick alongside D. Winters from 2 drafts ago. But how about Tatum Bethune? The 7th-round linebacker out of Florida State, the rookie, makes the Niners' initial 53. He was a tackling machine throughout all of the preseason, had a really good training camp, very instinctual player who plays with good feel and play speed. Congratulations to him. Also, congratulations to Curtis Robinson, who's been with this team over the last couple of years. He balled out, and because of that, the Niners rewarded him, and he certainly earned it. Demetrius Flannigan fouls in addition to Curtis Robinson and Tatum Bethune. Going to get some heavy special teams workload. D. Winters, I still think the arrow is pointing up for him. He has a lot of potential. We'll see what happens with that injury that he suffered against the Raiders. And then Fred Warner, Devondre Campbell, going to be your starting off-ball linebackers because Dre Greenlaw is hurt. Cornerbacks, Deommodore Lenoir, Charvarius Ward, Ambry Thomas does make the team, but the same case with Jon Feliciano. I expect him to go on short-term IR. Isaac Yiadom, a lot of people are going to be surprised about his play. I think he is a diamond in the rough type of free agency acquisition. Darrell Luter Jr. had a good training camp in the preseason, making some plays on the football. He will be a steady special teams player. And then Renardo Green, the 2nd-round pick out of Florida State, who will get significant snaps week 1 against the Jets, in my opinion. The Niners do hold on to 4 safeties. I wasn't sure what the situation was going to be here, but Talanoa Hufanga makes the initial 53. The Niners will ease him in, but this is great for his injury status. If he were to go on PUP, he would have to miss at least the first 4 weeks of the season. So San Francisco imagines, they project that Hufanga will be able to join this team anywhere from week 1 to week 4. Jair Brown, George Odom, Malik Mustafa, no surprises there. And then no surprises with the specialists here. Jake Moody, Mitch Wisnowski, and Tabor Pepper, the kicker, the punter, and the long snapper, making this Niners initial 53. So that's the initial 53-man roster there. Some more roster news to get to, and we're going to run through all of the cuts that San Francisco made because there are a lot of surprises here. Ben Barch not making the team, Robbie Chosen let go, Chris Hubbard, backup swing tackle ability, defensive lineman T.Y. McGill, Brandon Parker, swing tackle ability as well, Eric Sauerbert, Trent Taylor, Logan Thomas, Tracy Walker, defensive lineman Nick Williams, cornerback Rock Ya-Sin. I think that he could come back once they figure out the injury status with Ambry Thomas. I thought Rock Ya-Sin had a really good training camp and preseason. He doesn't have to pass through waivers because he's a veteran. So he becomes a free agent, and he can just sign back with San Francisco. Isaac Alarcon, I imagine he's going to come back to the practice squad on the International Pathway Program exempt list. Evan Anderson does not make the team. I think the Niners would like to bring him back to the taxi squad. Alex Barrett surprisingly gets cut. Shaquille Brown, Jonathan Garvin, linebacker Jalen Graham, wide receiver Danny Gray, Sebastian Gutierrez, offensive lineman Jarrett Kingston, Cam Latu, the third-round pick from the 2023 NFL Draft. We'll see ya. Maybe he comes back to the practice squad. He did start to improve a little bit during training camp and in the preseason. Chase Lucas, some special teams ability, but doesn't make the 53. Jalen Mahoney, wide receiver Tay Martin, quarterback Tanner Mordecai. I'd like to see him come back to the practice squad because in limited action, he really impressed me in the preseason. Offensive lineman Drake Nugent, he's probably my number one prospect to bring back to the practice squad, but wouldn't be surprised if another team claims him. Tight end Mason Pline, an ideal practice squad candidate. Same can be said for Cody Schrader, Braden Willis, and Samuel Womack, though a lot of teams are looking for young, talented DBs. Samuel Womack can play inside slot, so I think some teams might have some interest in him. As for the Niners, injury designation. So going back to Talanoa Hufanga, activated from PUP, San Francisco will ease him back. We'll see if he'll be ready for week 1. They did place Kalia Davis on IR, designated to return. Running back Elijah Mitchell goes on IR without a return designation. So his season is over, and now it's time to see Jordan Mason ball out behind Christian McCaffrey. So that is your Niners initial 53-man roster. Again, there are going to be just a plethora of moves that take place over the next couple of days and then leading into week 1 against the Jets. We leave you with this. The 49ers will win. How many games in 2024? Let me know. I'm going with 11. Get those predictions in right now.